Hey everybody, it's D Amazing here, bringing you a review. This time it's of the Bandai 112 model kit, General Grievous from Star Wars. So, let's get started. First and foremost, I want to start by saying this is still a model kit. It's a snap fit. There is no glue required whatsoever. But in that case, it is still a model kit, so it's fragile. So please be careful of small parts or snapping them. If it's your first time building, please be very careful. Because again, very small parts, very easy to break. So I just wanted to give you guys that disclaimer. Let's get started. I want to start by saying, even though the plastic is quite fragile, Grievous holds together pretty well. I only had one small complication with a small piece, and he still managed to turn out just fine. With a little bit of panel lining, some stickers, he ended up being pretty cool. As you can see, I panel lined some thoughts. It looks really nice. The detail is there. And one of the things I want to point out is that they actually give you the guts and the chest, and I'll get to that in a second. But I thought that was really cool, that even for a model kit, they gave you the detail of the guts inside for Grievous. Now, Grievous is actually pretty tall, but he's a hunchback. So his height really is it's a little scarce in terms of how they measure it, in my opinion. Because even though he's supposed to be like 7'1", the problem with that being is that he's hunched over. So you can't really gauge it, like in terms of properly. But one of the things you can do is determine it, obviously, next to other figures, which we'll do later. But just know that he's hunchback, and this section of his neck is actually predetermined, so you can't, change that. You can't turn it, anything like that. All the articulations right here in the neck goes up, down, left, right. You can rotate a little, you can turn it around, things like that. Arm articulation goes about as far as here, but you get, oh, see, fragile. But you can actually rotate the arm all the way around here. It's pretty cool. There's bicep swivel as well. So for a model kit, you actually get a nice bit of rotation on the normal arms. We'll get to the other arms in a second. Now, the waist, you can rotate all the way around. So if you want, you can mod it to do that crab walker scene for Grievous, which is pretty cool. And the ab crunch actually goes pretty far forward. So starts off about this high, goes about this far down. Oop. Legs actually pretty cool. It goes, rotates all the way up, folds in. So you can do a cannonball with Grievous if you want. You can actually fold the arms in and make him cannonball Grievous. Jump in the pool. But overall, I really like it. I think the only drawback on the model kit so far is that the ball joints on the foot kind of hinder articulation a bit in certain areas. So there's nothing that you... The best thing about this is that it's a model kit, so you can actually shave it down and still give it the rest of the articulation that you want. Now, I'm going to show you some poses that I do, because Grievous is usually seen crouching down or in a pose like this. So I think that's really cool that you can still nail these poses with no issues. You just have to be careful when spreading the legs too far, because Grievous's feet won't actually touch the floor and be planted. In this case, I was managed to do it. But the further out you go, the harder it will be. So you just got to be aware of that. It won't be necessarily that easy the further apart you go, because you also pull out the leg joint. You don't want to do that. Let me actually put that back in place. Now, one of the things that's really cool about Grievous is the fact that his arms split apart. And what they also give you with that is pairs of hands for it. Now, one of the things I can do that I've done is that I take the hands off, and when I want to put the regular ones on, you can obviously put the beam saber. Oh, sorry, not beam sabers here. We're talking about Star Wars. The lightsabers. Got to make sure I get that right before Star Wars people kill me. So you can swap the hands around. You can put lightsabers in. I did not paint the lightsabers. You actually need to paint them because it's still a model kit. They come in black, which I think are really cool. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Probably have someone paint it later. I am terrible at that kind of stuff. You actually get 4 of them. You get 2 green and 2 blue. And like I said, you can swap the hands via some hand parts, and voila. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off, actually, and I'm going to show you something. So what you're going to do is you actually pull out the joints as well. So you pull off the arms, you pull out the joints. And what happens is you actually put in the extra set of arms for when he breaks them apart. I'm going to put both sets of hands on so I can show you guys. I think this is really cool. This is probably my favorite part of the kit. It's without a doubt Grievous's coolest feature. The option part to have 4 arms that break apart from the 2 original ones, and beam saber parts. This is one of my favorite things. And the reason why is because the range of motion and articulation given on this is actually quite ridiculous. It butterflies forward, it rotates and spins, and it goes really far around to the point where you can literally do all sorts of crazy stuff. They hold the sabers really well. They rotate in the ball joint. So you can actually look like you're tilt-a-whirling or defending or doing anything like that. Actually went a little too far with the ball joint there. But this is by far one of my favorite features. And you can do all sorts of cool stuff. You can have Grevious defend, fight, things like that. Hopefully you'll enjoy the pictures at the end. Do you guys some justice. I'm all over the place right now with the model kit, so he's falling apart. But I want to make sure you guys see that Grevious looks cool in most of these poses. So what you can do is and he balances really well. That's another thing. So for him to be able to do all this and still balance is really cool. Most people will have trouble or they'll be too back heavy or front heavy. Grevious is actually really balanced really well, and I think that's really dope. It's one of the things I really like about the kit the most. It's really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the arms back out because I want to show you another feature, which is I was talking about earlier, was the chest. And this one gets a little tricky for me because I have trouble taking out the chest plate. Oops. Bear with me as I try to take it out. I may have put it in a little too tight. So as you can see, they give you the guts for the inside. It's really cool. I like it a lot. It's one of my favorite things about Grevious. So they give you the guts and the heart and the chest. And you can paint it, you can not paint it. It actually is a little pre-painted, so it looks really cool already. So you can just pop it in there. I'm going to actually pop the arms back in. And the reason why is because I'm going to show you the last feature on Grevious, I should say. At least for me, featuring him. And I'm going to just pop these joints back in. Like I said, Grevious is usually seen hunched over. I'm going to pop the hand back in so it looks cool. And the best thing also about him being a droid or I want to say hybrid, I guess, is that Grevious doesn't have to be like anatomically correct to like do things. So if you want to have like a running pose or do something stupid or make him run like a roach, it is actually very much possible because he's like a robot. So the cloth part that they give you is actually a soft fabric that they... Oop, let me go back a little higher. Sorry about that. The soft fabric that they give you is not like cloth cost, but it's more likely a model kit fabric cloth that usually from Bandai that they give you. I believe the first time I saw it was with the crossbone stuff. It fits really well, especially because Grevious, like I said, is hunched over most of the time. It works really well for you. If you obviously want to replace it and do a whole cloth yourself, I would suggest that you model over the top and make this a little harder and then make this wired. Like I said, it holds really well in place, but it just sits there. That's all it can do. It's not like one of those things where you get one of the custom CJ cloaks and it'll look really nice. This one just looks really nice on Grevious just standing here. In the meantime, let me show you guys some scaling. So I'm going to leave Grevious a little taller than what I left him with his cloak on, so you can see what he's like compared to other figures. This is Grevious next to Jesus Obi-Wan. As you can see, he towers over Jesus Obi-Wan. This is him next to Mace Windu. He towers over him as well. Still pretty cool scaling. I like it a lot. I think that it works really well. This is him next to a clone trooper. Towers over them. This is him next to an SHF Kamen Rider Sigma. Towers over him. I think he's going to have most people beat in terms of towering over them. Oop. Here's an AI Ninja. And there he goes. So you have to excuse me. Ever since I got sick, I've been accident prone and a little aloof. I don't know what's going on. I haven't recovered. What else can I give you guys? Oh, just because it's right here. You can see his size next to a larger figure. He's actually pretty small compared to other figures. But in terms of other figures, I think he scales pretty much in the right of towering over them, making it look more menacing, and I think it works out. What did I miss? I think I nailed just about everything. If you feel like I've missed anything, I'm pretty sure guys over at the Food Show already reviewed it and a few others. But if you haven't, sorry I missed it. Try to write it in the comments. In the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found it informative. And most of all, I hope you're drinking your water. Please be good, do good, see what it is. Later, guys. One quick thing I want to fix. When I talked about the cape, I had it sitting a little too high. Didn't realize it, but here it is. Sits much lower. Actually looks a lot better. Take a look at it. Just want to add that quick mod in. Thanks again, guys. Drink your water. Later.
Grevious.